Hello.
Am I late?
Hello. Hello.
Hello, when does it start?
Excuse me, is the meeting starting now? I am really, I was thought I was late in this meeting.
No problem, it will start.
Okay.
Should we introduce ourselves? I'm from the Netherlands. My name is Bob. Yeah. Um, can someone else introduce him or himself now?
Hello, I'm from,
We don't hear you, Brian. Hello,
what?
JJ
Shut the
here.
fuck up.
Hey guys, JJ here. Welcome.
Hi.
Yo guys, JJ here. How you doing? Hey JJ, but you already said that. Oh,
Um,
hello, I'm JJ.
hello all.
Hey,
Uh,
hello.
Hello.
I was asking if we could introduce.
No, our event will start at 7 p.m.
Okay.
In
Yeah.
25 minutes. So please just wait with us, and we will start soon.
So 24 minutes?
25, 25,
Oh, all right. Thank 25. you.
Okay.
That is
Thank you.
25.
very close to 24 minutes.
Yeah, 25.
Yeah. I really misunderstand this, what you are saying. But your English is good also.
Oh, sorry.
No problem, no problem.
Okay, thanks again to join us.
No, I think your English is pretty good, but we'll wait.
Okay, thanks. Thanks to join us. Please, uh, stay tuned. Good evening, all. Thanks for joining us today. We are really appreciate your time and your being with us. And thanks for our speakers today. We will start soon. My colleague Carol will give us a presentation about our community. Also, she will introduce our speakers and the team that organized this event today. Thanks all, and thanks. I'm really glad and happy to see you all today. And I'm wishing that you will enjoy our event today and hope to see you all again in our next events. Thanks. Hi, Dr. Nadine. I'm really glad to see you. It's first
Hello,
time.
Safinaz.
It's the first time to meet you. I knew you a long time ago, but actually it's first time to talk.
It's a pleasure of mine to be here today. I'm really honored to be among such amazing women. My objective is to connect to all the members and check ways of, let's see how we can support each other. I see there
Yeah.
are a couple of men also in the group, so
Yeah.
that's a very positive sign. I like
Yes.
that very much.
Yes, me too. Actually, because it's
Yeah,
this event for only women, but actually I saw some of men joined us. I'm
that's
really
great.
pleased.
We would love all the helping hands we can get.
Yeah, yeah, thanks. Okay.
Right now, I am in Germany. That's why I wrote I am in Germany, but initially I am from Egypt, and this will be covered in my presentation so that people don't get mixed up.
Yeah, yeah. Okay.
Yeah.
Thanks.
And
Thank
I
you.
would like to thank Noha for liaising with me to coordinate for today's presentation.
Yeah, yeah. Dr. Noha,
Noha Abdelwarth.
yeah,
Yeah,
yeah, she is
Thank you so
our
much.
training and events coordinator for this community.
fantastic.
Yeah, and
Thank you, Dr. Nadine.
I
Thank you,
didn't
Noha.
Okay, it's my
introduce
pleasure.
myself. For me, I am the North African zonal rep for this
Okay,
community. Yeah,
that's fantastic.
North Africa. Yeah, thanks. Carol, the floor is yours. Please start.
Hello, everyone. I'm Kiarie. I'll be your host today for the event. I'm in the event and training team. I would like to introduce the team that has made this event possible, all of us from Awijis. I'll start with Dr. Noha Abdelwarth. She's the event and training coordinator of the community. Letwin Pondo is the Southern African Zonal Coordinator, who also played a big part in planning for this event. We also have Safinaz Mohamed. She's the North Africa Zonal Coordinator, and Haneen Mohamed, who is the Assistant North Africa Zonal Coordinator. As for me, as I said, I'm Kiarie. I'm in the event and training team. I want to welcome you all for this event. Thank you so much for joining us from whichever part of the world you're joining us from. We are very excited to have you. I would like to welcome Noha to do a presentation on the story map, our story map. Noha, you have the floor. You're welcome.
Okay, thank you,
And
Carol.
all
Thank
the
you all.
speakers and guests, kindly feel welcome. All right, Noha. Sorry.
Thank you, Carol. Thank you all. But Safinaz will start to present our story map. So Safinaz, you can start now.
Okay, I will start. Just a second.
As we wait for Safina, please guys contribute to the poll that has been posted on your end. We will discuss the poll after the speakers are done. So kindly participate in the poll. Thank you.
Okay, hello everyone. Can you see my screen?
Yes.
Yes, we
Yeah,
can see it. Yes.
okay. Okay, today, as Carol mentioned, I am Zonal Rep, North African Zonal Rep, Safinaz Mubarak from Egypt. Okay, I'm GIS specialist. Today, I will present a few introduction about our community, but it will be mixed between Arabic and English. So if our Arabian attendees can join us today. About our community, it's for women, created especially for African women. It started with 2 women in different countries, and they met in on LinkedIn to help women in geospatial field to study and work and gain experience in this field. Also, this community aims to allow members to be themselves, create networks, and gain mentors, get career advice, also create networks and gain experience and have advice. Also partake in geo project to improve their portfolios, access job opportunities, also as well as geo courses information and showcase their work to the world. For our mission and vision, for our mission to create a safe space for African women in the geospatial industry for career level, and our vision, we aim to bridge the gender gap in the African geospatial industry. Okay, also for what we stand for, we have our colors, leafy green, our love for the nature geo, the earth, pitch black, unity and support among members, light gray, gender equity, pure white, safety and safe space. What is our identity? Start with our history. The community first started out as 2 separate country groups. Chidima, our co-founder, in July 2017 for women in GIS in Nigeria. And the other one is Tiana. She with us today. Also Chidima. We can have them a talk. Tiana in April 2018 for 2019 for women in Ghana. In June 2019, Chidima and Tiana met on LinkedIn and discussed their idea to create this community for all the countries in Africa. After that, we got our community. We have it like you see now, and become African Women in GIS community on October 2019. Now we have more than, it started with 41 Nigerian members, 11 Ghanaian members, also a member from Burkina Faso. Now we have more than 500 members regarding in more than 30 countries as of May 2022. Also, we had most of our members raising in Nigeria, Kenya, Ghana, Egypt, and South Africa. We currently have about 28 volunteers who help run the organization. You can see from this our growth started from 40 and 11 members, but now we have more than 500 members and in more than 30 countries. For our social followers, we have more 9,000. We also created this map. You can see location of our members around the world. We can discuss about some problems that we faced before and now. Male dominated industry, lack of female role models and career guidance, inaccessible GIS jobs information, inaccessible and unaffordable GIS events and courses, lack of GIS potential awareness, lack of grassroots awareness. So we created this community to solve or try to solve these problems. This is our fundamental problems that we are trying to solve it. African GIS industry and other STEAM fields are predominated by men. Lack of proper career guidance, inadequate school curriculum, lack of exposure to African female GIS role models, lack of grassroots GIS benefits and applications awareness amongst students as well as the public. Gender career tenacity of some African parents. For the career path problems, limited number of GIS-related jobs in African countries, inaccessible GIS jobs information, lack of female GIS mentors for career guidance, inaccessible or unaffordable GIS events and skills upgrade courses, no knowledge of community membership. How are we contributing to solve this challenge? Our contributions, creating networks, learning, mentorship. We already have our mentorship. We try to help our members to build their career and create project. Also gain some skills. Awareness. Last one. Let's talk about our community events, activities, and events. Our membership is restricted to only women. However, all our webinar events and most of our activities are made public. Like this event, you can see a couple of men joining us today. You can see this is our collaboration and events with other. This is our first ever external community event after being public in 2020 in the International Women's Day. Also, we had a part in SVUC. Also, we got an event with North Star Homecoming Week. Some internal events made with our volunteers. Also, there's some activities collaboration. We are open to collaborate with any geo-related organization. Yeah, this is from our website. It's a page for our member. Also, we have our blog. Articles written by our members are published here for exposure. Also, we have our YouTube channel. You can watch the events and webinars that we had before. Some of our members that are near to each other did a physical meetups. I can say that we are growing. We hope to continue to contribute to bridging the gender gap in the African geospatial industry and create more awareness of the geospatial field. So please join us. You can find our social media links. That's my colleague Haneen. Send it to the chat. Okay, I said before that we have a mentorship program, mentees experience highlights. You can see we started our first cohort with 9 mentees and 7 mentors. The second one had 20 mentees and 14 mentors. The third one has 22 mentees and 13 mentors and more. And this is for our mentees map. This is this is summary about our community. Our community has created a platform which is a source of motivation for African women to take up career path in GIS. We aim to expand in the coming years to support more African women in this field, introduce the younger generation to GIS career, help Africa benefit from the applications of GIS and its related field, as well as fundamentally bridging the gender gap in the African geospatial industry. We are open to fellow African women in Africa or the diaspora who wish to join our Slack and WhatsApp. Okay, you can join us by clicking on the link that my colleague sent to our chat. I will give a brief about this community in Arabic. مساء الخير. الكوميونتي ده اتعمل مخصص للنساء الإفريقيات المتخصصين في الجيوسباشيال فيلد، أي مجال ريليتد بالجي اس يقدر ينضم معانا. نتكلم بقى عن احنا مين. احنا كوميونتي أو منظمة اتعملت من خلال نساء إفريقيات عايزين يساعدوا الناس اللي بتدرس وبتشتغل وبتتعلم في مجال الجي اس او الجيوسباشيال اندستري. الكوميونتي بيسمح لكل الاعضاء ان هم ينشئوا شبكه من خلالنا، يتعرفوا على ناس في المجال، دكاتره، ناس اخصائيين، ناس خبره كويسه يقدروا يستفيدوا منهم. وكمان بنقدر ان احنا ندي نصيحة ازاي تبني الكارير بتاعك، ازاي تنمي المهارات بتاعتك. وكمان احنا عندنا رؤية محددة وفيجن. الرؤية بتاعتنا ان احنا بنوفر مكان آمن للنساء الافريقيات دي عشان يقدروا يطوروا من نفسهم، سواء بقى في مرحلة تعليمية او في بناء الكارير للفريش جرادويتي. وكمان احنا بنقدر من خلال يعني الوجهة بتاعتنا ان احنا بنحاول نقلل الجاب او الفجوة اللي ما بين النساء والرجال في المجال ده. ودي الالوان بتاعتنا، احنا محددين لنا 4 الوان. اللون الجرين اللي هو الاخضر ده بيمثل ايه؟ بيمثل حبنا للجيو، للارض، لعلوم الارض عموما. والبلاك ده بيمثل الوحدة والدعم، بيمثل الدعم والوحدة ما بين الأعضاء. الجراي الفاتح ده الجندر ايكويتي. الوايت ده بيمثل الأمان والمكان الآمن لينا. وبالنسبة للتاريخ بتاعنا ده الكوميونيتي اتأسس عام 2017 خلال تشيدما في نيجيريا، وسيانا في ابريل 2019 في غانا، وانضموا مع بعض من خلال لينكد ان وأسسوا الكوميونيتي كله في سنة 2020. الأول بدأ في 2019 أكتوبر 2019، كان 41 عضوة من نيجيريا و11 من غانا وواحد من بوركينا فاسو. لكن احنا حاليا بقى عددنا أكبر من بكتير. بدأنا صغيرين، دلوقتي وصلنا أكتر من 500 عضوة في أكتر من 30 دولة، في مثلا في نيجيريا، في كينيا، في غانا، في مصر، وفي جنوب أفريقيا. وكمان عندنا أكتر فوق ال 28 عضوة متطوعة بتساعد وبتنظم الإيفنتات، وكل ده طبعا يعني مجهود خاص، يشكر التيم ده جدا، يعني أنا بقدم له شكر مني أنا. ودي خريطة بتوضح الأعضاء، مثل عليها الأعضاء بعددهم. واحنا بالنسبه للمشاكل اللي احنا بنحاول نحلها، ان احنا بنقلل الفجوه ما بين الذكور والاناث في الفيلد ده، في المجال بتاعنا، وبنحاول على قد ما نقدر ان احنا نعمل موتيفيشن للنساء في المجال ده، ان هم يقدروا يطوروا من نفسهم، ان هم يستفيدوا من الخبرات اللي معانا في الكوميونتي، ان هم يقدروا يفيدوا البلد اللي هم فيها او المكان اللي هم شغالين فيه. وكمان بنوفر المنتورشيب للطلبه الفريش جرادويتنج او اللي عايزه تتعلم سكيل جديده. ودي اهدافنا، ان احنا نعمل نتورك، نتعلم، كمان نقدم المنتورشيب، ونقدم وعي بالمجال بتاعنا وبأهميته. وفي بس حاجة صغيرة الناس بتضايق مني كل مرة لما أقولها، إن إحنا المنتورشيب دي للنساء فقط، إنما الويبينارز والإيفنتس اللي إحنا بنعملها أي حد يقدر ينضم معانا، سواء بقى إيفنت زي النهاردة، كورس بنقدمه، أو ويبينار هيتعمل بعد كده. وبالنسبة المنتورشيب بدأت أول كوهورت بدأ ب9 متدربات كان معانا 7 موجهين ليهم. وتاني كوهورت الفصل التاني يعني بدأ كان 20، والموجهين ليهم كانوا 14. الكوهورت التالت كان 22 منتيز اللي هم متدربات، و13 موجهين ليهم. وتقدروا تنضموا لينا في من خلال اللينك اللي هيتبعت فيه فورم بتتملي، وتعملوا فولو لينا على السوشيال ميديا، وتتابعونا اول باول، لان احنا الفتره الجايه ان شاء الله هنقدم كورسات في المجال بتاعنا، وكمان ايفنتات ويبينارز جايه، فاستنوا مننا ان شاء الله حاجات كتير. شكرا ليكم جدا، وسعيده ان انا كنت معاكم النهارده، وشكرا لوقتكم. كارول. Thank you all. Thanks for listening. Hi, Carol.
Hello, thank you, Safina. Thank you so much for that introduction. I'll just go straight to Dr. Nadine. I want to welcome Dr. Nadine to speak with us today. Yes, so Dr. Nadine, welcome. The floor is yours.
Thank you very much, Carol. Thank you very much, Safinaz, for this introduction about the activities. Actually, I was very impressed. You do much more than I can imagine. And you have already touched base on some of the challenges that I am covering on my presentation. So I'm glad to see that we are in sync already. So now what I am going to do is share my screen. Can you see my screen?
Yes, we can. Yes, we can.
Okay, excellent. Thank you so much. So first, I would like to thank Hanaa Williams, because she is the first one that contacted me and reached out to me from the association. And at the time, unfortunately, I had a baby, a fresh baby, so I was a little bit overwhelmed, as you might expect. So I did not find the time, so I apologize for this, but nevertheless, I found the time and I reached out to her to be part of this wonderful organization. So I'm really honored to be here with you today. Just to tell you a little bit about myself professionally. So my name is Nadine Sherif. I am, my work is, I work for Esri. I think many of you know Esri already. And I am responsible about marketing for the Middle East, Africa, and Central Asia. So our regional office is in Dubai, and I am a GISer by education and by experience. So my journey with GIS started while I was studying architectural engineering in Egypt. And then I was fascinated, of course, with the concept of layers, you know, and urban planning, all the strong capabilities and functionalities of ArcGIS. And I studied GIS at ITI in Egypt, Information Technology Institute. And then I pursued a Master's of Geography from the United States. What happened is I was looking for a scholarship, and for 3 years I was applying since I was in university. And at the end, I got accepted in 3 different programs, 2 in the US and 1 in UK. And I ended up choosing the one that covers the longest phase. So because I had previous studies of GIS in Egypt, I was able to finish my master's degree in 12 months instead of 18 months like the rest of my colleagues. Because it was also great because this is the duration that my scholarship covered. So I didn't pay a lot of money out of my pocket. In addition, I have 10 years of experience with an Esri named distributor. It is the Esri distributor of Egypt, but they also manage Egypt, Libya, Sudan, Sudan South, Chad, and Libya. So they manage 5 strong territories. Their name is Esri North Africa. So this is a little bit about my Esri background. So 5 years in this position and 10 years with an Esri named distributor. So that makes it 15 years. And in Esri, we have something, we celebrate something called an Esriversary, like an anniversary, but for the time you spend at Esri. So we call it Esriversary. So I'm happy to be celebrating my 15th Esriversary with this group today. In addition to being a professional GIS woman, I am also a marketeer by education and by experience. So what happened is when I was working at the distributor, the distributor was growing and they needed someone to establish a proper marketing function. I had always been interested in marketing and did some courses and did some internship at AC Nielsen, which is one of the biggest market research companies worldwide. And so I was very interested in the topic and I thought to myself, I need to do this properly. So I did my MBA, Masters of Business Administration. And then while doing my MBA, one of my professors, one of the mentors, he has a marketing consultancy. So he had hunted me and I worked for him. And when you are a marketing consultant, you must have a doctorate degree. Otherwise, they think you cannot read or write. So I also did my doctorate degree. And in the meanwhile, I've worked for multinationals and regional corporations and marketing consultancies. So if you think of it, it was like 2 parallel trains. My GIS career was going and then it stopped at one point. And then my marketing career was going. And then with this job, I was very happy to come back with GIS and marketing because it helped me bring these 2 parallel careers together. And because I helped while working on consultancies and regional corporations, I helped many groups of companies flourish and develop their business in the region. So I am very familiar with the region. I am well traveled. So it was really great for me. So all work and no fun is boring. So I tell you a little bit about myself, some personal information. I was born in Cairo, Egypt. My husband is German, and we used to live in Berlin in Germany. That's why I have to travel to Germany often. The fruit of our family is our daughter Maya. There she is. She's walking, she's running everywhere, out of control sometimes. And we also have a cat. She's very precious. Her name is Clara. I've already lived in many countries and I speak, my native language is Arabic, but I also went to French school. So I speak French, English, and because my husband is German and we lived in Germany, so of course I had to study German as well. But I enjoy traveling. And in my spare time, I like to meditate, to practice Pilates, make mosaic, and eat sushi. So now that you know enough about me, let's talk some facts about today's topic. Safinaz had already touched on some of the facts that I'm mentioning today, which is based on a recent study that was issued or published in last year. So globally, women occupy about 35% of GIS positions. So the estimate is between the lowest is 28% and the highest is 35%. That's almost 1/3 of the workforce population of GIS. So the bottom line is there are very few of us. So we can only survive if we support each other, if we help each other. This is point number one. Number two, regionally, this number is estimated to be less than 20%. So in the Middle East and Africa, there are problems that also Safinaz touched on, that the family doesn't think that education for girl is very important because she will get married and stay home anyway. Or sometimes there are other problems which we are going to talk about. But the good thing is the numbers are rising, and because of programs, developed programs that have people are being active and exert effort in this region. So the challenges that I have faced myself, okay, are the ones I'm showing here today. Number one is equal pay, or let's say unequal pay. So in many companies, there is this thing called a glass ceiling. So there is a ceiling above your head. It's made out of glass, so you cannot see that it exists. What does it do? It prevents you from getting equal pay like men, and it also prevents you from getting the same possibilities and chances for promotion. And if you talk to any HR expert, they know this. This is where I got this expression, glass ceiling effect. So there were, I was happy at a couple of companies that I worked on, but I left. I was very comfortable. It was very close to home, so I did not commute long. People were nice to me. They made it easy for me, but I felt I'm not fulfilling my my full potential, and I was upset that I was not getting the same pay like my male peers, so I decided to leave. Support for qualifications. So for example, I had to work very hard at learning how to write recommendation letters, how to fill applications, how to submit for scholarships, where to look for universities, which are the good programs for GIS, you know, and all this. It came with a lot of perseverance and hard work and support from mentors. My professors at the university helped me a lot. So needing support while doing your qualifications, you know, pursuing your master's degree or MBA. It can be financial, but it's also mental support and psychological support. Then we come to what we know as the work-life balance. It's very difficult when you have a family. For example, my daughter today, she was crying right before the call while I was doing my hair and putting on my makeup, getting dressed, you know, so I had to stop whatever I was doing, calm her down until she was settled. And my husband took over. So then I was able to focus on the call and finalize a few points with my slides. And this is life. We are juggling between balls and we are wearing so many hats. So this is important. If we are an empty tank, then we have nothing to give. And when you look at multinational organizations, when they hire, they don't hire the nerds. They only hire people who have hobbies, who do regular sports, because these are the people who have diversity and have culture, and they have something extra to give. So it works both ways. So it's important for you to get some me time, prioritize, and manage your time very, very well. Something else that I struggled with is relocating. So I was living in Egypt, and then I moved to the States to study, and then I went back to Egypt. I lived in the UK for almost 1 year. Then I went back to Egypt. Then my husband came to Egypt. Then we lived in Germany. Then I got this job and required me to move to Dubai. And my husband agreed to move with the family. So I'm really lucky to have a lot of supportive men in my life, and it really helps. So my husband is very supportive. My father is very supportive and very encouraging. So it takes a lot of effort to settle in a new environment, in a new country that you don't know, finding a good home, finding a good school or nursery for your child, making sure that your husband can do work remotely or they find another job in the new country, making friends, getting used to the weather. You know, these are all challenges that people rarely speak of, but they are very time consuming. And if you don't settle very quickly, then your mental health is not right and it affects your performance. So not only do I get support from my mother, who is my first role model, or my extended families, my grandmothers, my aunties, my father and my husband are very supportive, like I said, but I am very lucky to have trainers, teachers, you know, and people in the community. And because I have been working in Esri in different roles for so many years, then I also grew among this wonderful initiative that is Esri put together. It's a series of, it's a book series. Esri published 3 books. Volume 1 is called Mapping Their Stories by Esri. Volume 2 is Starts of Special Science. And number 3 is Champions of Sustainable World. So this Women and GIS book series is really amazing. I encourage you to read it, or at least visit this link so that you see there is a free webinar that you can join. And if you miss it, there is a recording, and I highly encourage you to see it. Another wonderful initiative from our distributor in South Africa, they have published a book called South African Women in GIS last year. And they did an amazing launch event. They invited the 16 women that they have written their profile on. They have a web page for it, and they did a video highlighting the most significant happenings of this launch event. I am very happy that as part of ESRI UC and the special interest groups, there is this annual meeting for the Women in GIS Association. For the charter, you can connect with the members, you can understand the charter, become a member, understand the committees, and volunteer for activities. Another wonderful initiative from ESRI is the AEC Heroes, which is architecture, engineering, and consultancy industry. So just pinpointing leading women who are role models, they are champions in their domains. And we also allow people to nominate GIS heroes that you know. So please, if you know anyone who qualifies, send me their LinkedIn profile and I would happily submit it. Now, for this year, we wanted to celebrate the International Women's Day in a special way, is that we recognize professional women. We recognize 9 women in the first article we ran in magazines. We did an interview with ITP Media and Arabian Business. These are reputable regional publications. They publish in English and Arabic. They have print and digital. So it was really, gave us a lot of exposure. And they were covering these 9 wonderful women. I'm very pleased that my colleague Pauline is among them, and she's here in the association, and she is a panelist also today. So it gives me great pleasure to be working with inspiring women like her. And what we did in this article is we managed to cover 3 customers, 3 distributors. They are the only 3 CEOs, female CEOs, and 1 platinum ESRI partner and 2 regional staff. Unfortunately, we are the only, Pauline and myself are the only 2 native to the region, but we have so many other inspiring and amazing women on our team who come from different nationalities. So what we asked is, this article is one of many, and the rest will be posted in the what we call the MIA portal. It's a web page for Middle East and Africa. You can visit it anytime. It's esri.com/MIA, and this is where you can find out more about customer stories and the wonderful work that these women do. And if you are native from the region, please send us your story, send me your link, and I would happy to cover it. Now, just to give you an idea of the women that we covered, one of them is from the government sector, another is from the private sector, a third one is a university professor, so she's an academic. Another one, Pauline, for example, is a technical person, 12 years in technical career, and you probably know she's responsible about a huge initiative in ESRI called the Africa Geoportal. I also invite you to visit their website and find out resources about free training, free data. It's one-stop shop for so many things in Africa. So I'm sure you will find it very useful. If you talk about one of the strong points from ESRI is working with the utilities team or solutions. So one of the women that we have featured from South Africa, her name is Selindi Molongo. She's the Chief GIS advisor from Eskom. This is the main telecom company in South Africa. Another one is specialized in construction, and she is Manal Said from Lebanon. She is Vice President of Digital Services in Khatib and Alami, another amazing company that works in GI in the region, Middle East and Africa as well. The number one role model that we have featured in the article is Mariam Obaid. She is the CEO of Building Regulation and Permits Agency in the Dubai municipality, and this was the first enterprise agreement from ESRI to in Dubai, in the city of Dubai. And they have this amazing initiative called the Geo Dubai. to create a digital twin of Dubai that is a replica of the city, enabling the government to plan and manage Dubai effectively with smart services to meet their happiness and sustainability goals. Then we also have Greta, for example. She is the operations manager of Esri Lebanon. So she is not an engineer. She studied science, but she worked her way up from being a supervisor for geospatial data into project manager and then into managing the distributorship. And she focuses a lot on education projects. So you have a big combination from Sanaa, for example. She was she didn't pursue a GIS career at an early age. She was married, she got the kids, and then she thought, okay, now the kids are settled and go to school. What do I do with my time? Let's find a career. And she started GIS at a later stage of her life, and she became the CEO of Openware, that is a distributor in Kuwait. So you have people joining at different ages, people who are only technical, people who are only business, people who started technical and turned into business, like myself, for example. We have people from Dubai, Kuwait, Lebanon, Ghana, and Nigeria, South Africa, Al Ain, and Kenya, and Egypt. So with this initiative, Esri would like to celebrate the GIS women from the Middle East and Africa. The objective is to grow the regional community of women who are working in the geospatial technology. And if you want to ask why, then I will tell you this will help them motivate each other to succeed, but it's also encouraging more young women to join the industry. And that is really important. So we were asking other distributors and the GIS community to engage in this initiative. So participate in whatever way you can. This is what we told them, and promote the article and the profiles of these inspiring women. And send us inspiring stories. I've already received about 20 profiles that we are going through. And selection is done through a committee of senior management in the region, international business director, and the people who are responsible about the ELA and the chief marketing officer. So it's like a big committee, and we always take care. We try to balance between the age. So we don't only choose women who have a very long career. We can also choose someone who has a medium career, but they have something very interesting to offer. They are involved with the community a lot. We also focus on to cover ethnic groups, different countries. So many things to care about. But this is just trying to inspire the distributors and the GIS community to push on despite the odds, and just remain focused to attain their goals. So we would like, by showcasing these inspiring women and the challenges they overcame during their careers, we just give a spark of hope to everyone else. Here is an example from Esri North Africa, the distributor of Egypt, Libya, Chad, Sudan, and South Sudan. They took the initiative and they put a different twist on it. They created a social media campaign. They chose the people who have been in the company for a long time and have a diverse career. And they created a social media post for each one of them. So you have someone who is an expert in remote sensing, another one is a marketing director, and the training manager. And the feedback was really positive. Another twist or another adoption of the project came from Esri Lebanon, for example, is they launched a web page and they put the profiles of the Lebanese women in GIS. They call it the Lebanese GIS Female Champion. And just another way to recognize the outstanding achievements and contributions in GIS. And I also like you to visit the website and check what's their careers. Actually, celebrations were all over the place. So a partner organization of Esri, I know Safinaz has also mentioned them in her overview, is Digital Earth. And they have hosted a number of guests, including my colleague Pauline, to talk about international, it was a different format than a panel discussion that is roundtable. So I'm sure this was interesting as well. Another way is to, for the teams from Eastern Africa, for example, the symbol of hugging yourself and hugging all the women around you. So different distributors were doing it with different posts. So I am done with my presentation and I can take questions now, or I can do one more slide if you like. That perhaps it's better to cover this slide as well. It's some interesting resources. I think for those of you who don't know about the Africa Geoportal, it's a one-stop shop for Esri software, Living Atlas data, and free training courses. So it's really interesting. People who work in Africa or people who develop projects about Africa, funding agencies, they all meet in this place and great things happen. You can get a lot of support there. Another resource that I would like to share with you is coming soon is an education page for the MEA region. And this is if you are working in an education institution, if you are working at a school or at an institute, a university, there are programs in Esri whereby we support African university in particular, giving them free software and engaging with them in a number of workshops, GIS days, support for student activities. So this page is coming, will be launched soon. I will sure let you know in 1 month. So this is something I wanted you to know. Perhaps it will be supportive, helpful for some of you. Thank you very much for this opportunity to talk to you, and I am open to questions if you have some.
Thank you so much, Dr. Nadine, for that presentation.
Thank you, Carol.
I welcome anyone with a question. Kindly raise your hand so that I can allow you to speak and ask. And if you have more questions, you can also share them in the chat, and then we will read them to Dr. Nadine for her to answer as your questions. Thank you so much for that presentation. I have a question of my own.
Sure, go ahead, Carol.
You mentioned that it was a bit of a struggle for the home, family life, work life, and family balance. I would want, and then you've somehow managed to do it and make it in this industry with all those different paradigms of your life. I would want to ask, how did you manage to do that? What specific adjustment did you have to do for you to have an excellent work-life balance?
Okay, that's an excellent question, because if I am really honest with you, I still struggle with that. However, I am much better at it than before. So the things that have helped me is adjusting my food diet, because I discovered that some food has a direct relationship with being lazy or with increasing your stress level. Yeah, so I follow an intermittent fasting diet. So I wake up early in the morning, I have breakfast, and then I have a big meal at lunch, and then I don't eat anything. I just drink stuff or maybe water, or take a yogurt or something. But so this is the first one. The second one is my mental health and my productivity is very much related to the state my body is in. So when I used to tell myself I am not practicing any sports because I don't have the time to do it. However, then you get into a vicious circle and you go crazy. But if you are busy, then you should meditate. You should do a little bit of yoga. I put my alarm. I actually do Pilates, which is a different form. It's close to yoga, but a little bit work on my back, my shoulders, you know, because I sit a lot in front of the computer. And in 2019, I had a frozen shoulder on the right arm, and it was going to become very serious. And this was my wake-up call. Yeah.
Okay.
These two things help me a lot. And also on the spiritual level, being close to God, asking for help from God and from the angels, doing zikr, you know, like chanting once or twice a week. I find this also very calming, because it, you know, after you spend a lot of time in front of the screen, and when you go to bed, you close your eyes, but you can still see the screen. I don't know if this happens to you. And you remember something in the middle of the night and you want to wake up to write it quickly before you forget it. So you need to make sure that you finish your screen time 2 hours before you go to bed.
All right.
These may be very simple, easier said than done, but they did the trick for me.
Okay, all right. That is very insightful. And thank you so much. Your story has been.
Thank you so much, Kiarie.
Yeah. Yes.
I see. Safinaz is saying congratulations for 15 years. Thank you very much, Safinaz, the anniversary. And okay, Nada is saying, how can I develop myself in GIS?
Yes.
Okay, Nada, so there are many free courses and many job opportunities that I post on LinkedIn, for example. So if you follow me on LinkedIn, then you will see those opportunities. And also, I make sure to post information about free events. So these events, for example, the plenary session of EPC, the plenary session of UC, this is for free. And you can, if you miss it because of the time zone, the difference of the time zone, you can see the recording also, yes, the next day. And for those who are shy to speak in English, ممكن تسألوا بالعربي. نوها بتفكرنا. ولو عايزك سؤال معين يا ندى ممكن تبعتيلي. أي حد عنده سؤال محدد بخصوص وظيفة معينة، بخصوص حاجة محددة، بس مش لو technical، يعني لو أنا مش هقدر، if I cannot guide you, then I will direct you to someone who will help you.
All right, guys, please. Okay.
على LinkedIn يا ندى.
All right. Guys, please continue asking questions in the chat. Dr. Nadine will respond to them. You can ask your questions in English and Arabic. We have most of us can understand both languages, so kindly feel free to ask questions, to comment, and yes.
I will put my LinkedIn account here, and please feel free to reach out to me if you have questions. And this is the easiest way, because I keep the emails for work and for urgent tasks, but on LinkedIn, I will answer when I get the time. So forgive me if I answer the next day or so. Sarah is asking about free resources. Okay, Esri is doing free courses called the MOOC, M-O-C-C. And this is where you can find free resources. I will post about it again soon. What role can data science play in GIS? Well, GIS depends highly on data. You know this, we have a famous say, garbage in, garbage out. If your data is not accurate, it's not complete, then all the analysis that is built on this data is also going to be inaccurate and incomplete. So data is the basics, is the basis on which the GIS technology works well. Data is very important. زهرة من فضلك برضو ابعتي لي على LinkedIn. Okay, Katuli is saying that she has a background in geology and she's interested to pursuing a career in GIS. How to move from geology to GIS. Okay, so Zahra, I was an architect, an urban planner, and then I used GIS in architecture and urban planning. This was my entry point. And then I fell in love with GIS and I decided to become an expert in GIS. So this is what you could do. Work with GIS applications in geology and then expand from there. الإيميل ما احنا قلنا الإيميل بيبقى للشغل. ابعتي لي رسالة على لينكد إن وأنا هرد عليكي يا زهر. Resources to learn programming in GIS ده برضو في الكورس اللي أنا بقول عليه دوت يا سارة. شكرا ليكي يا فاطمة. ندى هتبعتي لي على اللينكد إن. أنا براجع تاني. I'm going through the comments in case I missed a question. Thank you very much, Haneen. It is really amazing opportunity to be here today with you and learn from you how to connect, how to build bridges. As I said, the number of women working in GIS is very small and we can only make it if we all help each other. So I'm all for that. Carol is also reminding us to participate in the poll. Thank you very much, Carol. This poll is very, very interesting. And at the end of the call, I would really like, I'm intrigued to know the result of the poll. Happy anniversary. Thank you so much. I think I have covered all the questions.
All right. Thank you so much, Dr. Nadine, again. Thank you for your time and for that inspiration story. You have inspired, I believe, everyone here. Most of us are struggling with most of the issues that you've mentioned in your presentation. And I believe each one of us has taken a piece of that to encourage to improve in themselves as we do and map GIS and do GIS in our careers. So I thank you so much, and may you continue doing the great work that you're doing with women in Esri. And yes, we are very, very proud to have you in this event. I want to pass the floor to Noha so that she can guide us through the panel discussion that we are supposed to have a panel discussion after this. So Noha, kindly take the floor.
Okay, Carol. Thank you, Dr. Nadine. It was so motivated and inspired.
Thank you. No.
So thank you. So we hope you you have time to be with us in our discussion. Okay.
Yes, it will be my pleasure.
Thank you so much. Now we will move to discussion. Now we will start with Hanaa Mustafa. Okay, Hanaa. Hanaa is an environmental researcher at EEAA and a GIS instructor. EEAA is, I think, the environment ministry in Egypt.
Egyptian
right?
Environmental Affairs
Yes.
Agency. They are one of our customers, and I was writing a success story about them today.
Yeah.
What a
Okay.
coincidence.
Yes, amazing.
Okay, Hanaa, are you here?
Yeah, I'm here. Hello, everyone.
Okay, you can start, and if you want to participate in Arabic, we can translate it. Okay.
ميرسي نهى. أنا هناء مصطفى، GIS instructor وباحث بيئي في جهاز شؤون البيئة. هحاول أتكلم بالعربي والإنجليش، يعني هيكون سوا علشان معظم الناس
هنترجم.
برضه حاضرين من مصر. أنا تعلمت GIS خلال دراستي في الجامعة. كنت أنا خريجة 2022 بالمناسبة، أنا خريجة آخر دفعة في التعليم. تعلمت GIS خلال 3 سنين في الجامعة، أو من 2020 بالظبط. ما كانش في عندنا فكرة
جامعة
أصلا
إيه؟
عن إيه GIS.
كلية
كنت جامعة بنها، كلية آداب، قسم
آداب
جغرافيا.
جغرافيا يعني. أوكي.
ما كانش في عندنا فكرة يعني إيه GIS أصلا، ما كانش حد عارف أي حاجة عنه، حتى ما كانش في حتى عنده معلومة على الإنترنت لما كنا بنسيرش وكده، أو بمعنى أصح ما كناش عارفين نوصل للمصطلح ده معناه إيه. ما كناش نعرف المجالات بتاعة القسم بتاعنا ده عبارة عن إيه، يعني أنا لما أتخرج هشتغل إيه في الآخر. مع الوقت لأ، لقينا إن في عندنا مجالين بنشتغل فيهم من خلال الديبارتمنت بتاعنا في الجامعة، أو قسم الجغرافيا بمعنى أصح، اللي هو يا إما نشتغل في المساحة أو نشتغل في GIS. طيب إيه هو GIS بقى؟ Geographic Information System، وده بنشتغل بيه، بنعمل 1 2 3 4. فبدأنا اللي هو لأ، نتعلم GIS ونشوف ده بيشتغل إزاي. والحمد لله بفضل ربنا يعني توفقت وتعلمت في GIS خلال ال3 سنين اللي فاتت، ولسه بتعلم فيه لأن هو كبير قوي. زي ما احنا كلنا عارفين هو فيلد كبير جدا جدا جدا، ما نقدرش إن احنا نوصل لآخره. في خلال تعلمي GIS عملت كذا بروجكت لوحدي، اللي هو احنا نبدأ بقى نشوف نطبق اللي احنا اتعلمناه ده. أول بروجكت عملته كان عن البراكين، كان في بركان في إندونيسيا، وعملنا فيه شوية أناليسز، بنحاول نعرف نتنبأ بحدوث البركان ده. فكانت النتيجة إن إحنا حطينا شرايح، أو كان الحل إن إحنا نحط شرايح في الفوهة بتاعة البركان، بحيث إن هو لما يوصل لحتة معينة يبقى أوكي قدامه وقت معين على حسب السرعة بتاعة اللافا وهي بتخرج، قدامه وقت كذا وينفجر مثلا. فالبروجكت ده اتكرم من إزري في الكومبيتيشن GIS Day كمركز أول، فدي كانت أول جايزة أخدها من إزري. بعد كده أشكرك. بعد كده في سنة 2021 برضو كان في مسابقة GIS Day، برضو عملت بروجكت كان عن شلل الأطفال، وكرم برضو كمركز تاني في الكومبيتيشن بتاعت GIS Day. السنة دي أو آخر حاجة كانت إزري نزلت كومبيتيشن عن الستوري ماب، أو الابليكيشن الجديد بتاع الستوري ماب. واتكرمت فيه برضو كمركز تاني الحمد لله.
ماشي، شطورة أهو.
أشكرك.
3 جوائز في 3 سنين ورا بعض، ما شاء الله.
لو كان في GIS Day برضو كان الموضوع هيكمل.
إن شاء الله.
إن شاء الله. فالموضوع كان هو لذيذ، فكرة ان انت تعمل مع الجي اي اس عموما وتحبه، فده بيخليك ان انت تنتج اكتر، تعرف هو بيتعامل مع ايه وتقدر توصل فيه لايه، طب ايه اللي بيربطه بيه. الكلام ده كله بيخليك دايما حابب ان انت تعرف طب ايه الجديد، طب انا ممكن انفذ ده ازاي. حاليا مثلا في الجهاز احنا شغالين في مشروع بيئي عن التلوث، فاحنا بناخد الداتا من الفيلد ونبدأ نعرض البوليوشن اللي موجود على مستوى الجمهورية. فالجي اي اس طبعا كان ليه دور كبير في البروجكت بتاعنا واللي احنا شغالين فيه. وهكذا يعني الجي اي اس بالنسبة لنا هو مش مجرد تول زي ما ناس كتير بتتعامل معاه من غير المتخصصين في الجيوسبيشال. لا، الجي اي اس هو علم قائم بذاته، بيرتبط بيه علوم تانية كتير لكن مش هو عمره ما كان تول، بس مش مجرد تول، بس مش بنستخدمه عشان نطلع خرائط او نعمل شوية اناليسز او لا، هو اكتر من كده بكتير. من الصعوبات الموجودة في فيلد الجي اي اس خصوصا في مصر ان محدش عارف سوق العمل عايز ايه. يعني احنا النهاردة والله عندنا مثلا 10 وظايف، الوظايف دي 1 2 3 4، خلاص هنتعلم ده وهنتعامل معاه علشان نبدأ نشتغل بيه. لأ، تاني يوم لأ، الموضوع مبقاش كده. محدش عارف من الشركات الجي اي اس هو عبارة عن ايه علشان يقدر يحدد المهام الوظيفية للناس اللي هتشتغل فيه. فاللي هو احنا ممكن نكون شركة ملهاش دعوة بالسبيشال داتا أصلا أو ملهاش دعوة بالسبيشال فيلد، بس مطلوب مننا إن احنا نشتغل على جي داتابيز. فأنا عايز واحد يعمل لي كل الليلة دي، مع إن الليلة دي ممكن تكون كبيرة جدا، فهو ما عندوش دراية أصلا بالفيلد ده بيعمل إيه بالظبط. فبالتالي بيعمل لود على الناس إن هو ينزل مثلا جوب ديسكريبشن معين، فيكون ده أكبر من الحاجات الموجودة في السوق، أو ده ما ينفعش مع واحد بس هو يشتغل بيه، لا ده عايز تيم كامل، أو مش عايز تيم واحد، ده عايز 2 تيمز أو ف...
سوري هناء، سوري. اسفه ان انا بقطعك، بس عايزه ادي بريف بالانجلش عن اللي انت قلتيه، عشان في ناس برضو معانا ما بيتكلموش عربي. تمام ماشي. Okay, sorry, our audience. I will give a brief about our speaker, Hanaa. She said that she is a GIS researcher at Environmental Authority in Egypt. She loves GIS, and she gained 3 presents during 3 years, and created many projects using GIS. And her idea that the GIS is not just a tool. GIS is all the the world that you can use it anywhere and everywhere. It's not like a program or a small thing. No, not that. It's your life. Also, she now speaking about the challenge that we face in the geospatial field, especially in Egypt, and her own challenges. Okay, Hanaa.
Yes, معاك.
Okay. ممكن بس تقولي التشالنج تاني عشان بس
اوكي، احنا بنواجه شوية مشاكل في الجيوسبيشال فيلد في مصر، زي ان مفيش دراية كافية بقدرات الجي اي اس او السبيشال فيلد عموما. فبيبقى فيه requirements كتير، مطلوب ان حد واحد بس هو اللي يكون عاملها، مع انها ممكن تكون متقسمة لأكتر من حاجة. اللي هو أنا دلوقتي عايز أعمل داتابيز مثلا عن منطقة معينة عشان أبدأ أعمل لها ديجيتال توين، فإحنا نجيب 2 من بتوع الجي اي اس يعملوا لنا الكلام ده كله. فهو لأ، أنت مش عارف ده بيتعمل ازاي، المفروض تبقى انت عارف ده بيتعمل ازاي عشان تقدر تحدد مين يعمل ده وكم واحد يعمله. في نفس الوقت لازم يكون في عندك على الأقل اوفر فيو عن الفيلد عبارة عن ايه، او الجي اي اس ده عبارة عن ايه، طب ايه الحاجات اللي هو بيعملها وهكذا.
Okay.
كمان
Let me introduce one by one. Okay.
اوكي.
The first challenge from her point of view that there we don't have more awareness about GIS field and GIS industry, especially in Egypt. If you need to create a geodatabase, you can choose two gestures to create it, but actually you have to know more information about it, more how you create it, how you edit it, not to do the geodatabase only. You need to get your overview about the this field. Okay, Hanaa.
كمان عندنا مشكلة في الريسورسز اللي بنتعلم منها. علشان أعرف أنا محتاجة أتعلم إيه لازم أعرف المجال ده عبارة عن إيه الأقسام بتاعته، إيه هي التخصص اللي جوه التخصص اللي أنا عايزة أتخصص فيه. يعني الجي اي اس كبير جدا، في تخصصات كتير قوي، فأنا عايزة أشتغل في إيه؟ هشتغل كأناليست، خلاص هروح أشوف الأناليست دول والأناليست ده بيبقى شغال على إيه أو إيه الريكوايرمنتس بتاعته. للأسف إحنا ما عندناش ده متاح بشكل كبير، اللي هو أنا عايزة أتعلم جي اي اس وخلاص. طب أنت هدفك إيه من إن أنت تتعلم جي اي اس؟ لا مش عارف، بس أنا عايزة أتعلم جي اي اس. طيب إحنا المفروض يكون عندنا هدف من تعلم الجي اي اس، اللي هو أنا هتعلم جي اي اس علشان أشتغل في المكان الفلاني، أو هعمل الحاجة الفلانية، أو أوصل للوظيفة الفلانية، فأشوف الوظيفة دي بتعمل إيه أو إيه الريكوايرمنتس بتاعتها، فأروح أتعلم الريكوايرمنتس دي.
Okay, Hanaa. The second challenge for her that we have less resources for learning GIS. Especially in GIS, we only have, not only have, but the most resources and the most useful resources in English. And some of us faces that this issue that we are Libyan. Not all of us speak in English or can study English materials. So we don't have many resources in Arabic. We only have many resources in English and other languages. Also, we don't choose our goal. So she said that we have to put our goal beside our on our eyes and try to walk and follow it. So that we can achieve it and build our career and get experience and become a gesser, also be a professional in geospatial field. Okay.
I think إن آخر حاجة ممكن نتكلم فيها هي الجزء بتاع التعليم. احنا عندنا
طيب طب تفتكري انا هقاطعك بس سوري، تفتكري بالنسبه للمشاكل او التحديات اللي بنواجهها هنا في مصر، انت يعني بتقترحي لها اقتراحات ايه عشان نخرج من السيشن يعني بفايده في البوينت دي؟ تفتكري ايه؟
هو مبدئيا لو هنتكلم في أول بوينت اللي هو ال too much requirements اللي بتطلب في الوظيفة الواحدة، فاحنا لازم يكون عندنا حد متخصص هو اللي بيحط ال requirements بتاعة الوظيفة. يعني ما ينفعش أجيب حد مثلا هو بس HR مش عارف ال geospatial field ده عبارة عن إيه وأقول له حط لي requirements لحد هيجي في ال GIS specialist مثلا. فلا، المفروض اللي يكون حاطط ال requirements دي هو حد عنده background أصلا عن ال GIS وعبارة عن إيه مين يعمل إيه في الجزء ده. اللي هو أنا هشغل حد specialist، فأنا عارف إن ال specialist بيعمل 1 2 3 4. فلا انا مش هينفع اشغل سبيشالست بس، لا انا ممكن اشغل حد سبيشالست وحد كواليتي، حد اناليست، حد مش عارف ايه، مش كل ده حد واحد اللي يعمل. اوكي، ده في الجزء مثلا بتاع الريكويرمنتس بتاعه الوظائف.
Okay, let me translate.
Okay.
Now, Dr. Noha said for Hanaa about suggestion solution for this challenge. For the first challenge, she talked about the requirements for the job, that we need the specialized person to put the requirements, not the HR, so that we can put the great person to the role that suitable for her skills and job. Okay, the second one.
And the second one البوينت التانية اللي بنتكلم فيها الريسورسز القليلة بالنسبة للGIS learning. يعني لو هنتعلم GIS وكده المفروض يكون عندي ريسورسز كافية بتوافي الريسورسز الأجنبية. بمعنى أنا عندي دلوقتي حد معين منزل كتاب عن السبيشال فيلد وإحنا بنعمل إيه والGIS ده بيتعمل إزاي، أو عندنا مثلا كتاب من الكتب بتاعت إزري زي Getting Started with ArcGIS. محتاجين إن إحنا نوفر منه نسخة عربي علشان الناس اللي مش هتقدر تتعلم باللغة الإنجليزية، أو في كتير من الشركات بتقدم بدل ما بتقدم كتاب بلغة واحدة بتقدمه بأكتر من لغة، فيفضل إن احنا نضيف اللغة العربية من ضمن اللغات اللي بيترجم ليها الكتاب ده، لأن احنا في الوطن العربي عموما احنا مش عدد قليل، ومش عدد قليل في الفيلد بتاع الGIS، فكلنا بنبقى محتاجين إن احنا نطور من نفسنا، وللأسف مفيش ريسورس باللغة العربية علشان أقدر أتعلم منه.
Okay, for the second one, she suggested to try to have resources in Arabic because the most resources are in English. Okay, Dr. Nadine, you can join us. You can join the panel discussion and say your.
Okay, thank you very much, Safinaz. So I was just
You're the-
thinking that I always receive this feedback that people need Arabic resources. So in the last 5 years, I have been working hard to convey this message, and we have been succeeding in translating Forrester report, for example, that is issued every year. This is a very important report about the geospatial industries in the world. So this one is translated into Arabic. We have many events and webinars in Arabic. For the books, we haven't done this yet, but we do it in media coverage a lot. So we make sure that interviews are in Arabic, so a wider audience gets to understand. Maybe I should say this in Arabic as well. ففي ال5 سنين اللي فاتت احنا جالنا فعلا الفيدباك دوت، وإزري ابتدت ان هي التقارير المهمة، الماتيريال المهمة كلها بقت بتترجم بالعربي. العربي في الأول ما كانش على الليستة بتاعة اللغات اللي بيتم الترجمة ليها، وبفضل ربنا يعني الحمد لله وبعددنا الكبير تم تغيير الديسيجن دوت، وتم الانتباه أكتر للأودينس العربي، وده علشان خاطر عدد البروجرامرز مثلا اللي بيتكلموا عربي زاد جدا، وقدرت اتجهت ان هي يعني بقى في intersection وبقى في تقاطع ما بين الGIS والبروجرامينج. فدي حاجة كانت يعني احنا شغالين فيها ولسه هنشتغل فيها اكتر كمان، فممكن يبقى التقصير من عند الشركات، فشكرا ان انت بتنبهينا ليها يا هناء. النقطة الأولانية اللي انت اتكلمتي فيها اللي هي بتاعت الشخص اللي بيحط الوظيفة أو بيحدد الجوب اللي هتتعمل، المفروض إن هو يعني يخش في awareness course كده أو awareness program علشان يفهم أبعاد الGIS، الأجزاء اللي محتاجة بتاخد وقت قد إيه، الابليكيشن دي بتحتاج وقت قد ايه، الجرافيكال يوزر انترفيس هياخد وقت قد ايه، طب احنا محتاجين نعمل كومنت ثانيه، طب محتاجين نعمل تيستنج، يعني ان في بروسيس طويل، والبروسيس ده بياخد وقت ومحتاج تيم، وفي اجزاء معينه ممكن شخص واحد يعملها، بس في اجزاء تانية محتاجه زي ما انت قلتي تيم او اتنين او اكتر، وان في تيم دوت بيعمل تيستنج على شغل التيم الاولاني. فدي كلها حاجات يا اما بتيجي بالخبره، يا اما طبعا اقصر طريق هو ان الشخص دوت ياخد awareness كورس عن الجي اس، او حتى الانترودكشن بتاعه، ويقرا كتير عن الجي اس، سواء بقى في الحاجات اللي بتنشر في المجلات او على السوشيال ميديا، عشان بس يبقى عنده كده فكره انه وظيفه مسؤوليتها ايه. يعني زي ما انت قلتي، البروجكت مانجر شغلته غير البيزنس اناليست، شغلته غير البروجرامر، شغلته غير السولوشنز انجينير، شغلته غير الماركتنج اللي هو تكنيكال اصلا باك جراوند and so forth. فاي حد دخل في البيزنس دوت لو عنده تكنيكال باك جراوند بينجح، بتساعده ان هو ينجح جامد جدا.
I think إنه فعلا زي ما حضرتك قلتي، وكمان أعتقد إن إزري كمان عاملة كورسز this level of information،
مظبوط،
يعني اللي هو
والديستريبيوتور في مصر عامل الكورسات دي.
أتفق على كده فعلا، وإزري بتقدم فعلا كورسز زي كده، فيفضل إن بيحط requirements يكون عنده باك جراوند عن الجي اي اس، علشان يقدر يحط فعلا requirements مناسبة للجوب description اللي هو
واقعية.
تايتل. يعني ما يبقاش حد طالب لي مثلا ان انا عايز جي اي سبيشالست وعنده باك جراوند في البروجرامينج، ومعاه 7000 لغة برمجة يعني، ويبقى سبيشالست في الآخر. فعلا ده
لا
موجود، يعني دي معاناة من ضمن المعاناة اللي احنا بنشوفها يعني.
أكيد أكيد طبعا يعني. شكرا ليكي يا هناء، وطبعا انت يعني اديتينا بريف كويس قوي، خصوصا ان انت لسه برضه سقنططة، نقدر نقول ان انت لسه في بداية الطريق. وسعداء جدا ان انت كنتي معانا النهارده دكتور نادين. انا يعني بجد مبسوطة قوي ان انا شفتك النهارده في الايفنت معانا. وشكرا
ميرسي
ليكي
جدا، انا اللي
جدا
متشرفة بوجودي
للنصايح.
معاكم.
الشرف لينا يا دكتور، واتمنى
الله
تكوني
يخليك،
معانا في ايفنتات جايه
ان شاء الله باذن الله.
ان شاء الله. Thanks هناء. Thanks دكتور Nadine for great discussions. Okay, now let's move to Pauline Okeyo. Pauline, are you available?
Yes, Safinaz, I'm available.
Okay. Thanks again to joining us. Nadine, she is senior GIS, senior solution
Pauline,
engineer.
yes.
Yeah, senior
Pauline.
Pauline. Yeah, Pauline. Okay, sorry.
No
Pauline.
problem. No problem. Um,
Okay,
sorry.
Pauline, we can discuss. If you, I know you have the question, you can give us your answers and suggestions for the younger woman.
Okay, thanks, Safinaz. Hi, everyone. Thank you again for this invitation to interact with this community once again. So before I get to answering those questions, maybe let me start with how I got into GIS. So my past interaction with GIS was through geography. So in Kenya, studying in Kenya, back when I was in school, we started our education with geography, and I was fortunate enough to have really good geography teachers. So that was my introduction to the geo aspect. And I remember after high school, I was looking at what could I do that has a geography aspect that allows me to also apply technology. And at that time, that's when GIS was really catching on in Kenya. So I was able to do a short course around that. And again, when I started my internships and progressing to my entry-level positions, they were around GIS. So most of them, fortunately, like my first entry point into GIS was through the statistics organization in Kenya. They are preparing for the census, and they needed geospatial professionals earlier on to help with creating maps for the census activity. So that was my entry level. Then I progressed to work in GIS, in biodiversity management. So that's that we have an organization in Kenya that's responsible for wildlife protection. So I worked with them for like 2 years in applying GIS to address challenges that experience around wildlife protection or conservation activities. Then I transitioned to an Esri distributor for Eastern Africa. That's Esri Eastern Africa that covers Kenya, Uganda, Tanzania, Ethiopia, Djibouti, Eritrea. So I was with Esri Eastern Africa for 7 years. I had my role in solution engineering. Then I transitioned to being responsible for training and services, as well as technical support within the region before I transitioned to Esri. So it looks like a very straightforward path, but it wasn't. There was a lot of doubt in the middle, trying to understand what my next steps were in terms of how do I want to feel like I'm progressing in my career. So that had its own challenges, but fortunately, which I think most of you will come to experience, there are so many incredible women who have come before us, and they've done really good work in terms of getting into the industry and progressing. And some of those stories, like Nadine mentioned, they are captured on our Women in GIS series, but also if you get to join any networking communities, if you get to join mentorship programs, you'll come across those women who have entered the industry and they are participating in the industry through various roles, be it marketing, like Nadine, be it those who are supporting community engagement, like Laura. I think I saw Laura joining the call. Those who are participating in different industries and so on. I think there are many opportunities, and there's so many ways to get in touch with these women and understand from them how do you get into the industry and how do you participate as a professional, given the various roles we have in the industry. I would say some of the things that have helped me progress, or what pushes me to want to continue growing in the industry, is fortunately, I work in an organization that supports learning and supports collaboration. So by learning, we have a lot of resources within Esri that allow you to access training materials, allow you to access software, allow you to access just interaction with the broader community of users of GIS software from Esri. And that has been a great opportunity to learn from other people. Also collaboration, there's so many programs, there's so many communities, like just learning about how Africa Women in GIS started, where we had the community for Ghana, we had the community for Nigeria, and they came together. And we have other Women in GIS chapters. Beyond that, we have other communities across Africa for data science, for environment management, and so on. So there are many ways that we could go in to work with other people who are interested in growing in GIS, similar to what you're interested in doing. Looking at challenges, I think it's very similar. Like if you're in your entry level, mid-level, trying to progress as you move to executive level and so on, you'll find the challenges are very similar, and maybe they might look a bit different, but at the end of it all, they look quite similar. So I'd say maybe like for entry level, some of the common challenges that I've had being mentioned by the previous presenters is things like the approach to teaching in the university. So you'll find that it's still some institutions are using the traditional method of teaching. That is, there is a GIS course, there is a geospatial course, but there's no aspect of your course incorporating GIS as a unit or as an area of learning within the course you're doing. So I think some universities are trying to modernize the approach to training in GIS, or some institutions, but others might not be doing that. And that's where I think, as Nadine had mentioned, you can try to complement your learning in those aspects by taking advantage of some of the free courses we have, or the free MOOCs that we have that allow you to see how do you apply GIS in your current area of study. Kind of like the question we had in geology, there's so many ways you could apply GIS in geology, even in the different roles you have within the geology sector industry. So we have a lot of resources around that on our learning portals. Also, I noticed that when it comes to participation for women in learning, it tends to vary. So I would say, like, during my time as a student, or even the times when I started being a GIS instructor, I noticed that participation in the classroom was mainly men participating more than women for various reasons, including probably before a woman develops the courage to participate, it takes some time for them to warm up. It takes them a longer time to warm up and so on. So, and you can see that also in the workplace, like when now it comes to doing projects or activities, it takes some additional time for the woman to warm up, to take initiative, or to feel that they're better placed to lead projects or to lead activities within the workplace. Also, the other things, it's looking at what kind of opportunities are there. So you'll find most people look for jobs with the GIS title or geospatial title. So that means you're looking for a GIS specialist, you're looking for geospatial analyst, you're looking for, you know, something that has the geo aspect. But you'll find sometimes some of these roles don't necessarily have GIS on it, but they have an aspect of data, they have an aspect of visualization, they have aspect for supporting field data collection and so on. And those are roles that all of us can participate in. So some of the things that I would like to advise you to consider as you're progressing as entry-level professionals, mid-level and so on, is join mentorship programs. Africa Women in GIS has a good mentorship program that is being run in collaboration with other entities, or even just competitions. Like I saw the recent engagement that Africa Women in GIS had with the Africa. So those are examples that allow you to interact with other people as well as build your capacity. So there are many programs targeted for women in Africa. There are many programs targeted for women, many programs targeted for geospatial professionals. So there's so many that you can take advantage of. Be part of a community. Be part of various, and the good thing with LinkedIn is you can access so many communities tied to our industry. The good thing with Slack, you can join Slack and find channels that are tied to our industry. Also, Esri has a community for geospatial users tied to regions, tied to industries or sectors and so on. Also, stay connected to professionals in the industry. Like Nadine is here, and she's been a lighthouse for so many women who are interested in getting into the industry. We also have other people like Hanaa, who's here. Safinaz, yourself, you are a leading lady in the geospatial sector. There's Letwin, there's Laura, who comes from the OpenStreetMap community. There's so many women who are readily accessible and available. Get connected to them, interact with them. I think all of them are readily available to help you progress in your career. I'd say, like, for me, the first leading lady in GIS I came across, she's called Asta Solomon. She's the head of a GIS company in Ethiopia. And Asta has been in the industry for a very long time, and a lot of people attribute their careers to her. And I saw how she was leading her company. She happens to be a partner of Esri Southern Africa. And it was like some of the moments I've had with her just to understand how has the industry developed over time, what are some of the considerations to make as a woman. I learned from her. And you can imagine she was very experienced. And at first I was so worried that if I approach her, she might be a bit busy, but turns out all women are available to help other women to grow. And my final advice is take advantage of learning opportunities. There's so many courses available online, not only for GIS, but other things that can complement your knowledge when it comes to GIS. We have courses on how do you learn the best way to visualize data, aspects of data engineering, data science, marketing, communication, all of that. So there's so many courses available. Some of them are 15 minutes long, some 30 minutes, others it's like a 6-week course. Take advantage of those learning opportunities to grow yourself. So I think with that, I'll just hand it over back to Safinaz. Thank you.
Thanks, Pauline, for your advices. It's really, really good. I'm sure I will follow it. And I also advise the younger women to follow Pauline's advices. Okay, now we can move the final speaker, Mona. Hello, Mona.
Hello, Sophie.
Hi.
Hi.
Okay, Mona, she is GIS specialist at Julfar company. Now she will give us some introduction for fresh graduations of women to how to build their career, and she will give us some advices. Okay, Mona, the floor is yours.
Okay, thank you.
منى ممكن تتكلمي بالعربي وهنترجم كل اللي هتقوليه إن شاء الله.
تمام ماشي. السلام عليكم. أنا منى يونس خريجة دفعة 2020.
Sorry, Mona. Sorry for disturbing you. I'm really sorry. We have the other one, Nettey. She is a GIS student. Okay, she will give us some ideas after Mona. Okay, Mona, you can start.
Okay. السلام عليكم. أنا منى يونس خريجة دفعة 2020 آداب جغرافيا جامعة حلوان. اشتغلت في أكثر من 10 مشاريع في موقع GIS، وحاليا GIS سبيشالست في شركة جولفار تابعة لحكومة رأس الخيمة في دولة الإمارات. أنا بدأت أشتغل من أنا في سنة رابعة جامعة. اتعلمت GIS عن طريق سيلف ستادي من أنا في سنة تانية. يعني حابة أتكلم على كام بوينت من خلال تجربتي في سوق العمل، وأحاول أساعد بيهم أو أوجه بيهم الفريش جراديويت في إنهم إزاي ممكن يأهلوا نفسهم في الحصول على جوب مناسبة في الماركت. هتكلم على 3 بوينت رئيسية: إزاي نكريت CV بروفيشنال، وإزاي أأهل نفسي كتكنيكال، وإزاي أعمل لنفسي بيرسونال براند. المايك تمام؟
هو صوتك فيه خروشة كده بيقطع، يعني حاولي تظبطي.
طب تمام كده؟
يعني لسه مش قوي.
اوكي
تمام ماشي.
تمام. ازاي الفريش جرادويت يقدر يعمل لنفسه بيرسونال براند بعد ما يبقى مؤهل كتكنيكال انه يخوض تجربه ان هو ينزل جوب في الماركت؟ هتكلم الاول عن ازاي ان احنا نكرر السي. مبدئيا اي HR بيشوف السي طبيعي ما بياخدش في ايده وبيبقى عايز يكمل وبحيث يطلع بانفورميشن لو هتحدد ان المتقدم للوظيفه ده هيبدا يكلمه ولا لا. فاحنا من افضل ان احنا نعمل سي بطريقه على الوورد، بلاش نعمله بطريقه تمبلت او سكيما او على سايت معين، وبلاش حد تاني يعمله لنا، لا نعمله بنفسنا ان احنا هنبقى اوير اكتر بالانفورميشن بتاعتنا. فاول حاجه السي بتاعنا يبقى متقسم لكذا سيكشن. اول سيكشن يبقى انفورميشن بيرسونال، ونوضح فيه الميل يبقى فورمال، ما يبقاش في اي اسم مستعار او وهكذا. نعمل ميل على لينكد ان ونحطه في السي في. تاني سيكشن معانا يبقى بنتكلم فيه عن الإديوكيشن ودفعة التخرج بتاعتنا إيه، ولو في مشروع تخرج نوضح دوت وتقدير الجامعة. تالت سيكشن بنتكلم فيه عن التكنيكال سكيلز بتاعتنا، إيه التولز اللي أنا بعرفها، السوفت وير اللي بعرف أشتغل عليها، إيه الكورسات اللي أخدتها. تالت سيكشن رابع سيكشن معانا هنتكلم فيه عن التريننج، ايه التريننج اللي انا نزلتها خلال فتره الدراسه بتاعتي، ايه التدريبات العمليه اللي انا عملتها. ده يكون فيه سيمبل، فيه معلومات حقيقيه عني، ما احاولش احط اي معلومات مجرد ان انا املك فيه، لا ده غلط، بالعكس دي نتيجه سلبيه على الشخص. تاني بوينت حابه اتكلم فيها اللي هي
سوري منى، ثواني يا منى، انا هترجم اول بوينت. تمام. Our speaker Mona, she is a GIS specialist at Gulfar company. She talked about the first point about how to create CV. Okay, she suggested to create a simple CV with true information. We must add the true information about ourselves, about our personal information, about our education, also about technical skills. If we had some training, we can add it. Okay, please don't try to add false information. It will be bad and get you a bad effect if you apply for any job and the HR accepted your CV, but during the interview, she or he will ask you about that information in the CV, and you will not able to answer or give him or her an explanation. Okay, so you okay Mona.
تاني جزء معانا ازاي السبيشاليست او الفريش جرادويت يكون مؤهل كتكنيكال. مهم جدا ان يبقى فاهم الجي اس كساينس، ما يبقاش مجرد تول كساينس عشان يقدر يسبورت بيه في ابلكيشن كتير في الماركت او في المشاريع كتير يستخدم فيها الجي اس بطريقه صحيحه. وكمان مهم يكون عنده مهاره السكيلز السيرش. حاليا احنا كلنا عارفين او عموما الجي اس في ابديت كل يوم، في انتجريشن كتير مع علوم ثانيه، مع تكنولوجيز، مع تولز ثانيه، فاوريدي لازم يبقى ابديت دايما بنفسه. مش ما يستناش حد، هو ما فيش حد هيجي يديه المعلومه، لازم هو يسرش بنفسه. اوريدي في الشغل حاجات في تولز ممكن ايرورز، ده كله لازم يبقى معتمد على ان هو عنده سكيل سيرش اصلا.
Okay. Sorry Mona, let me translate. معلش انا هترجم بوينت عشان احنا معانا ناس كتير مش عارفين عربي، فيعني لازم. Okay. Mona talked about the second point, how to be marketing. If you are marketing and to try to be technical, you have to think and use GIS as a science, not a tool. And you have to own search skill and try to update your information day by day, because you know GIS is a science, and every moment we have new information and new updates in this field. Okay Mona.
تمام. وحاليا في ماتيريالز كتير متوفره في الجي اس، يقدر اي سبيشاليست او مبتدئ فريش جرادويت يقدر يبدا يسوي يوصل للنولج او المعلومه دي عن طريقه. إذن تريننج موفره كورسات كتير، مقالات ممكن بينزل بشكل دوري. لو سوفت وير اوبن سورس، في سوفت وير كتير سواء اوبن سورس او برودكتد ايزلي. يعني الفيلد واسع، السيرش موجود، يعني الموضوع محتاج ان هو يبقى فيه مهارة، يبقى فيه سكيلز شغالين عليها، خطوات واضحة. ثالث حاجة بناء على التكنيكال اللي عند الشخص او اللي هو المعرفة اللي عنده، يبدأ يعمل لنفسه بيرسونال براند. البيرسونال براند يكون خاص بيه، يقدر من خلاله يعرض النولج اللي عنده. وده هيتم أول حاجة لازم يبقى فيه ميل على لينكد إن. لينكد إن مهم جدا. أغلب الشركات إذا ما كانش كلها سواء لوكال أو جلوبال بتنزل الجوب بتاعتها على لينكد إن. فاوريدي لازم يبقى عندي لينكد إن عشان أعرف أقدم حتى على أي وظيفة، واقدر ابقى موجوده في الكوميونتي الخاص بالجي اس. يعني انا بحاول اقول ريفيو بسيط من خلال تجربتي من النقاط المهمه اللي ممكن تساعد اي حد فريش جرادويت ان هو يبدا في مجال الجي اس. فبتمنى يكون حد مستفيد من البوينت دي، وسعيده جدا ان انا مع دكتور نادين النهارده في الايفنت. وشكرا جدا لباشمهندسه صافي ودكتور نهى على وجودي معاكم.
شكرا منى. Thanks Mona. She said for the last point, she talked about the resources that we have, many resources that we can learn from it. You can find a lot of resources in Esri. Esri provides many resources. Also open sources. You can find more information about it. And she advised you to get a personal program so you can follow it and achieve your goal, starting with creating LinkedIn account to be engaged with the communities in GIS field. Okay, thanks Mona for your advices, and
You're
thanks
welcome.
all for being with us. And if anyone have any comment, any questions, you can drop it to the chat. And for our speakers, if you have any comment for the youngers, you can say it. Dr. Nadine, Pauline.
Dr. Nadine.
Yes, Safinaz, thank you very much. منى شكرا على النقط المهمة اللي انت اتكلمتي فيها. أنا اختصارا للوقت أنا هحط لينك في الشات، هو عن زي كارير داي في 3 من إزري بيتكلموا عن ازاي الواحد يبتدي الجي اس كارير بتاعه، ويحاول يتغلب على العقبات اللي بتقابله، زي موضوع مثلا الريسورسز بالعربي، زي موضوع shifting from one field to another، مثلا اللي كان من واحدة في الجيولوجي وعايزة تبقى جي اس اكسبرت بيور وهكذا. فالنقط دي one of the speakers اسمه محمد الساكت، هو مهندس و training instructor في Esri North Africa، فهو متواجد في القاهرة وبيدي كورسات هناك، يعني active في الكوميونتي، وبيدي يعني motivational speeches في مثلا في الجامعة بتاعته في المنصورة، وفي كذا جامعة تانية، كان في برضو في الجي اس تي في مكتبة اسكندرية في اسكندرية. فأنا هحط اللينك، هدور عليها بس وهحط اللينك في الشات، وإن شاء الله you will find this useful information. It's about a GIS career day with 3 different speakers from Esri talking about how to pursue a GIS career, what are the different paths based on first-hand experience. One of the speakers is in Egypt already, so the members who are in Egypt can feel free to reach out to him also. He's very helpful. So I hope this is answering your question, Mona.
Okay, thanks, Dr. Nadine.
Thank you, Safinaz.
Okay, and you can send the link to us if you couldn't find it right now, and send to chat. And we will publish it on our social media, LinkedIn and Twitter. Also, we will attach it with the YouTube video after finishing the event. Okay, now let's move to Nettey. Nettey, are you available now? Hello, Nettey.
Yes, I'm now available.
Okay. Okay, you can talk. Nettey, she is a GIS student and faced some challenge during her journey to learn. Okay, so you can give us a brief about your challenges and give us an idea about how you come over it and learn it GIS. Okay, Nettey, mic is yours.
Okay, thank you. How are you, everyone? My name is Nettey Madhinga from Zimbabwe. I am a student at Kwanda State University, now in my 3rd year. So yeah, being in the GIS industry as a girl was not easy for me, especially when I was starting university. We were learning during the COVID period and we were learning online. It was not easy, like grasping the concept of what I was supposed to know, the practical aspect of GIS and surveying, the geomatics, everything. Geospatial was not easy to grasp the geospatial aspect, the practical side of it, because we're learning online. So when I started, I just felt like maybe I was in the field. But with time, we got to learn. We returned to face-to-face learning. I started to understand what I was supposed to do, but I am the only girl in my class right now. The other students are block students, so now I am the only girl in the class, which is sometimes difficult for me to cope with, because sometimes visiting the guys looking for help, sometimes you can't find them. So I don't have a female classmate who I can go to.
Okay,
So
Nettey.
it's
Okay,
not
Nettey.
easy.
So
But
let me.
I,
Sorry,
yeah,
Nettey. Let me ask you, how is gender equality experienced in school? Also, how did you face that you are the only girl in your class?
the thing is, when women or girls hear about geomatics and surveying, they think there's a lot of task or manpower that is needed. So when applying for courses, most of them run away from geomatics and surveying. But as for me, I was interested and I loved everything about it. So I had to apply, not knowing that I was going to be the only girl in the class. So gender equality, they promote, they say girls apply, but the girls, they are afraid of applying because they feel like it is going to be difficult for them to cope. But they do advise us to apply as girls, but we girls, we are afraid because maybe we think there is going to be a lot of manpower that is going to be required. But what I've realized is being in the geospatial industry doesn't mean you're only going to do the hard work, the going in the sun using those equipment, but you can do GIS where you will be seated in the office specializing, like working with your computer. It's not all about doing the hard work. So we don't understand that, which means us girls, like myself, that's why I'm passionate about teaching other girls that this is not all about the hard labor. You can choose what you want from how you are learning.
Oh, that's great. That's great. So that motivated you to choose a male-dominated profession, right? For that reason, you choose this geospatial field, or you have another motivation?
When I chose it at first, I wasn't very sure of what I was going to be doing, to be honest. I wasn't very sure, but After some researches, I just realized this field is interesting. And then I started doing more research until I got to understand. So when I got to understand it, that's why I was like, so I can be part of this male-dominated industry, but I didn't know the ways to take, like from my part 1, part 2, I was just a student like everyone else. I wasn't that active. I started being active after being motivated by Letwin Pondo from here in Zimbabwe. She would motivate me that you can do this, you can do that. So I started being active last year when I started my part 3, because I was now understanding and I was getting guidance from others. So what I can say is, when you are in this field, when you start, you might feel afraid and feel like things are not going to go the way you wish them to go. But you need to ask for guidance from other people, like maybe Dr. Nadine. She says she is now experienced, and if you allow such people to guide you, it won't be that difficult. I allowed myself to get guidance from the women in my country who are now advanced in the geospatial industry. So as girls, I think we need to learn to ask for help and to accept help. So that's what helped me.
Okay, Nettey, thank you for your speech. Really appreciate you all, and I'm really sorry that we have long time. It's really long time to during the event. I'm really sorry to let you be late. And now we can thank our speakers for their speech and advices and their all the suggestions that they said. And for our community, in the upcoming months, we will um, organize courses in geospatial field in different topics. We will not focus on a specific program or a specific project or topic. We will try to cover all the geospatial fields. I promise you, especially from me. Okay. Also, we will stay tuned for your suggestion on the form that we sent on the chat. Okay. I hope to see you all again in the next events. And thanks all. Thanks our speakers. Thanks our attendees, and thanks for the organization's team. Okay, if you have any comments, any ideas, any questions, you can send to us or you can drop it to the chat now.
A quick request, guys. I want to request that we open our video, we put our video on so that we can take a screenshot of everyone who is present for our social media. Kindly, let's put our video on. Everyone who can be able to put their video on, kindly, let's put our video on for the screenshot.
Work-life balance.
You. Are we all ready?
Okay, Carol, can you see me?
Yeah. Safinaz, no, I can't see you.
Really?
Okay, now I can see you. No,
now we can see you.
I smile. I was smiling to the camera.
Because I can see my video. I'm not sure why. But...
All right.
Now we can see you, Safinaz.
Really? Hi.
Hi.
Just for 1 minute, we have 2 screens, so I have to take both of us. for the both screens. Right. Okay, I think I got everyone. All right. Thank you so much, guys. Thank you so much for joining. I hope we will do something and
Thanks.
keep inspiring and keep doing the best that you can. Thank you so much.
Thank you all and have a good night. Hope to see you again.
Thank you all.
Thank you so
girls,
much for
this event.
organizing this and for hosting us.
You're
Thank
welcome. Goodbye. Yeah.
Bye-bye. Bye.
Bye. Thank you. Bye. Thank you, Mom.